All right, we are live. Hey everyone, Dino Gomez here, and welcome to another episode of the Secrets of Coaching podcast, where we reveal the mindset, strategies, problems, and solutions to growing a 6 to 7 figure online coaching business. Now, in today's episode, guys, I want to talk about how to produce an endless amount of content, even if you feel like you have nothing to say or nothing more to teach. All right, and so in today's episode, guys, we're going to talk about the 3 different types of content to consistently produce that's going to nurture your actual email list, your actual following, and so forth, and it's going to help attract more clients into your coaching business. We're going to dive into that, but first, I want to talk about how it was either 3 or 4 years ago, I remember being in this exact position. This was one of the questions that I had. I was following this one guy named Mike. And Mike was always producing content, like every single day. It was like a different Facebook Live, a different YouTube video, a different soundbite, a different clip. And I was like, where does this guy come up with all of his content? And why am I attracted to his content? That's really what I was asking myself, was why? What was special about Mike, and what types of content was he producing? And so that's how I was able to do what I was able to do was reverse engineer what Mike was doing. And then I kind of came up with some testing a bunch of different pieces of content myself with my audience, and I figured out what was working really well with my audience. And so I want to share that with you guys today. Now, first thing you guys want to do to always have an endless amount of content to produce is quite simple. Number one is have a place to record it. All right. Just dedicate one single place that you are always going to record your content marketing ideas. It might be late at night. You might wake up in the middle of the night and all of a sudden have an idea of a piece of content you want to produce. You might be working out at the gym. You might be driving, and all of a sudden you're going to get hit with these ideas. You need a place to record them. For that reason, I recommend your cell phone, because you almost always will have your cell phone with you regardless of what you are doing. So I use the actual Notes app on my iPhone. In the Notes app, I have a specific page that's called Content Ideas. As soon as I get hit with a burst of inspiration on a piece of content I should produce, I just record it. All right, and that is it. All right, and then basically the next week when I go to shoot videos and record stuff like that, I have a bunch of ideas from the previous week of content to do. So number one, guys, it starts with just being organized and this simple process of recording content ideas. You will be blown away by how many ideas you actually have to share when you start writing them down. The thing is, you're only going to have that idea, that content idea, that inspiration for a matter of moments before life gets busy and you forget it, okay? And that happens to us all. So the key, guys, is just to get in a habit of recording it, okay? Now, once you're in the habit of recording it, I'm going to show you guys some mindset strategies and techniques of how to consistently take one idea and then turn it into several different pieces of content, all right? And so the first thing we want to do, guys, is right now, if you're like, okay, I want to produce a bunch of content this week, next week, or this month, and you have a goal, that's step number one, guys. Step number one, have a place where you're going to record it. Step number two, have an actual goal for the amount of content you want to produce on a weekly basis and a monthly basis, okay? That is going to keep you focused on when to produce it. Now, if you are a coach and you are super busy and you're trying to figure out when you're going to fit in this content production into your schedule, what you need to do is first evaluate how important is this content to your actual growth, okay? And if it's one thing I learned about a coaching program, it's producing content consistently is essential to your lead generation efforts, okay? And so this should be towards the top of your list, if not at the top of your list, is consistently producing content. All right, that means you should be doing it at the start of your day. Ideally at the start of your day, so that for sure it gets done before you lose the rest of your day to unexpected things that inevitably always pop up when you run a business, okay? So now what I will say is that there's 2 different styles in which to produce content, okay? There's some people that like to chunk content into blocks where they go, okay, every Monday I'm producing content for the entire week, and they get it all done in one day, all right? That's personally the way I like to do things. Is I have certain theme days of the week where I know, okay, on Tuesday I'm shooting 3 different videos, and that's going to take care of my content for the week. On Thursday, I'm shooting 2 videos for our actual coaching clients, all right, and that's going to go into the members program, and as well as the actual coaching calls I have with them and so forth, right? So that's what you want to do first, guys, is decide, do you want to chunk your content and have it done on certain days and certain times? Or the other option for you is to shoot and record content when you get that burst of inspiration and have that creative idea. Now, if you're that type of person where out of nowhere you're going to have that inspiration and you're able to quickly get your camera set up or your iPhone set up or hop on a Facebook Live or whatever it may be, that works. That might work well for you. Personally, my brain kind of turns on and off depending on what types of tasks I'm working on. And so for that reason, I do better when I sit down and block content chunks and record it all at once in one go. I kind of get into a certain mood and a certain flow. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be outgoing and charismatic and things of a certain nature. And I'm going to shoot all my content right now. And I'm excited to do that. And so that's personally the way I like to do it. So again, the steps so far, right, is one, have a place to record your content ideas. Number two, have goals of how much content you want to produce on a weekly basis and a monthly basis. All right. And then number three, decide if you're actually going to shoot all that content on a specific day, days of the week, or if you're just going to wait for inspiration. Now, another reason why I like having specific days of the week to get it done is because it's blocked off in my calendar. Nothing can interrupt me at those points in time. And I know as soon as I get a notification on my phone or my alarm goes off, hey, it's time for me to stop what I'm doing and produce this content. So it gets done. So if you're somebody who procrastinates or finds that the day escapes you, right, you're going to do better naturally with just saying, blocking off a time period and saying, I'm shooting content at this day on this time. All right. And so those are the first three steps. Now let's talk about, right, how to always have an endless supply of content and valuable information to give to your audience, right? And again, this is crucial that you have content to always provide to nurture your audience. All right. And so, there's really three types of content that I like to produce regularly. All right. There's training videos, which is kind of like how-to videos, educational type videos where I'm going to show my audience how to accomplish and do something. All right. The second piece of content are personal stories, where basically you're going to take your audience on a personal story. This might be something that you write on Facebook or on social media, on Instagram and so forth, but you talk about and you reveal a story and information about yourself. Those stories are huge, guys. Stories are more likely to be remembered than any other piece of content. All right. So even when you're doing a how-to video, if you can tie in a story, people are more likely to retain that information. All right. So the second type of piece of content that you can always produce, guys, are personal stories, things that have happened to you. All right. Sharing that with our audience as well as what you learn from those stories. All right. The third piece of content that's very easy to produce all the time, guys, are client stories. All right. Revealing, right, not just dropping off a testimonial that your client made a certain amount of money or achieved a certain result, right, but actually talking about the process in which your client moved from position A to position B, really taking your audience on the journey of how your client was struggling with this problem, what their feelings were, what their emotions were, what they were afraid of, issues that they were having, bottlenecks in their business, all these different things, pressures that they had, things going on in their personal life, all these different things. And then what they were able to do with your assistance as a coach. And then what the end result of that was, and how they are now feeling, and how business has changed, how their lifestyles changed, how their family's lifestyles changed, all those things wrapped around the emotions that they're feeling now. All right. And that's super powerful because, again, people are able to connect with emotions, able to put themselves in somebody else's shoes and relate. And that's what we always like to do, guys. We want to make our marketing as relatable as possible. And we always want our audience to feel like this was specifically recorded for them so that they go, oh my gosh, this is what I need, right? That's consistently what we're doing. And the way you do that, right, with your actual content that you produce is by always tying in stories, all right, and always talking about emotions, right? Consistently talking about emotions. And the reason this particular podcast and this show topic resonates with me so much is because I remember feeling baffled. How does this guy, Mike, consistently produce content? Great content at that I remember, that I'm like waiting for, that I've always absorbed, that I listen to when I'm in the gym, that I watch on YouTube otherwise, in the evenings. Like, what is he doing, right? And that's really what you have to do, guys, is tie in personal stories and tie in emotions. Okay. All right. Now we covered the three different types of content. Here's how you can brainstorm to get content marketing ideas immediately. All right. First thing you guys can do is you can poll your audience. All right. So if you have an email list, if you have a Facebook group, if you're following it's just on social media, you can legitimately and straightforward just ask your audience what they are struggling with. A simple post on Facebook. Hey guys, what are you struggling with? I'm looking to record some content. What ideas, what subjects do you want me to cover? Ask your audience. They know they are your audience. All right. And so you go get a ton of ideas, just directly reaching out to them and having a normal conversation, whether that's on social media or not. All right. So asking your audience for some ideas. And then again, once they have those ideas, you don't just leave it there on social media and do nothing with it. You put it in your phone to record so that it will be recorded and answered, right, this week or the following week and so forth, right? Number two, how do you come up with personal stories, right? How do you always have personal stories? Well, personal stories, again, are so important because this is how people are going to choose you perhaps over another coach or another mentor, right? Is how much can they relate to you? They're going to want to hear and know and like and trust you. And you can build those connections through your personal story. So how do you always have a personal story to tell, guys? Quite simple, right? Again, find a creative space, all right, wherever that might be for you. Get in the creative space, guys, and do this. Step number one, write down every bad thing and or experience or mistake that you can remember in the last 10 years, both related to your personal life and your business life. All right, write those mistakes down, write those experiences down. All right, and more importantly, write down how you were feeling at the time while those things were happening to you. What emotions you were having, right? Because that's a big part of storytelling, is also explaining the emotions that you were feeling at that time. So write down exactly how you were feeling, what you were struggling with, all the details you possibly can, and then write down how you overcame it and what the end result was. What did you learn from those tough times in your life, those experiences, those mistakes, okay? And this makes incredible content to share with your community, right? Because people love to learn what not to do just as much as they love to learn what to do. It's very, very interesting, right? But there's going to be a future podcast episode that I'm going to come out with, and it's going to be called The Top 5 Mistakes All Coaches Should Avoid. And guess what? It's going to be a popular episode because people are going to want to know, what mistakes have I made that they can avoid making as well by just listening and tuning into that one episode, right? And so it's ultimately amazing piece of content to talk about mistakes you've made, how you were feeling, how you overcame those, all those types of details. Okay. Next thing you want to do is write down all of the wins, all of your accomplishments, all the amazing things that have happened to you in your personal life and in business as well, right? Again, write down how you were feeling beforehand, before the amazing thing happened to you. Write down how you were feeling afterwards, right? Write down how it changed your life, how it changed your personal life, your business life, your family life, how much time you work, all these different things. Write down all of the details, right, of that as well. Just like we did the bad experiences and the problems and the mistakes we made, we want to do the same with the good ones and the wins we have in addition. Okay. Now, along that same premise, guys, what you can do is you need to start listening more. All right. And when I say listening more, that means with everything that you do, listen, don't hear. Okay. And that's kind of a cliche thing, but you can hear kids playing down the street, but are you listening to them, right? Is one kid bullying the other? Are they equally having fun? Are they brother and sister? Are they two friends? Like, are you listening to actually what's happening? When you start doing that inside your business and you really become conscious of the opportunity to listen, you will have so much content to produce. All right. And when you actually start listening to what your clients are saying, what questions your coaching clients are asking you, right, you're going to have so much content. Because if you have a client that has a question, guess what? Your prospects, probably somewhere, one of your prospects that's considering joining your program is going to have that same question. All right. You can answer that question as a piece of content, right? And again, you might leave your client's name out who has had this question, of course, kind of protect their identity, so to speak. But you can literally say, as a piece of content, I could produce a podcast show that says, here are the top 5 questions and their answers that all my coaching clients ask me. And it would be another amazing episode, right? People would be like, oh my gosh, I have those questions too. I wonder what those questions are, right? There's so many different things to do. So not only do you want to mentor and coach your clients, right? But also record what questions are they asking you, right? And that is invaluable because you can recycle that as content that goes out to everybody that you're nurturing as far as a potential prospect for your program. All right, next thing you can do, interview your audience, right? Literally take people like strangers that are in your audience and so forth and just say, hey, I want to have you on my show. I want to have you in my Facebook group and highlight you and ask you some questions and interview you, as long as you're able to be open and real and so forth with things you're experiencing and all these different things. But if you interview your audience, again, you're going to come up with so many different ideas. When you sit down with somebody like that and have an extended chat for 20 or 30 minutes, you're going to learn so much about what your market is experiencing, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, right? All of this becomes what? Firepower for your message. You know exactly what they are experiencing, feeling, the verbiage they're using, all these types of things. And that will help you again, refine your message. It will also help you refine the rest of your content so it can be more spot on, exactly what you want, exactly what your audience needs to hear. All right, so guys, listen, don't just hear, right? And take notes on absolutely everything. All right, the next thing, guys, is if you have a sales team, first off, you should be talking to them minimally, right, every single day through chat and through Messenger about everything that's going on and what's happening that day as far as sales go. You should also at least be on the phone with them once a week. All right. And otherwise you need to be interviewing your sales team and asking them and getting insight from them on what is happening on your sales enrollment calls. What questions are people having? What concerns are they having? Right? What are your, how are you overcoming certain objections and so forth? All of that is content as well, right? Again, you can take all of that and you can use it. Because if somebody has a concern before they join your program, right, it might be a concern a lot of people have. It might be a question that your entire audience has is, right, and it might be particular about your coaching program. Those are amazing pieces of content to produce, are pieces of content that answer objections of why people are afraid to or otherwise are worried about your coaching program, right? It might be something small, like, I'm worried your coaching program is $1 million, right? They might be thinking that in the back of their head. And so if that is an objection that, or something that your sales team is consistently hearing, right? Then, or if your sales team is consistently hearing when they drop the price of your program, wow, I thought it was gonna be a lot more expensive, right? Then that's literally a piece of content. And that's also insight to you that you should raise your prices, right? You should never hear that. But right, that's literally a piece of content is to go address and let your audience know, hey, almost everybody who hops on a call with us, right? One of the things they say is, I thought this was gonna be way more expensive than it is, right? And now everybody who is sitting back, afraid to hop on a discovery call with you, right? They're gonna take that call because they're gonna be like, wow, it's gonna be more affordable than, what I'm thinking and so forth. So talk to your sales team, guys. There's so much potential content that exists there. Yeah, again, when you're interviewing your actual clients, or when you're talking to your clients and so forth, right, and you're helping them, coach them, right, literally ask them, get, not only solve their problem, but record it. Again, record it because it should probably become a video training of sorts inside your program if it's a commonly asked question, and it should be a piece of content that you guys repurpose to your actual warm audience otherwise. All right. And so, guys, to review and recap, right, how to always have an endless supply of content. Number one, have somewhere you're always going to record your content. I highly recommend it being your cell phone because you always have your cell phone with you. Number two, write down your goals of how much content you want to produce on a weekly basis and on a monthly basis. All right. And then number three, brainstorm, right, all the potential content marketing ideas you have. Brainstorm, right, all the mistakes and experiences you've had, both negative and positive. Talk to your sales team, talk to your audience, interview your audience, ask them what types of content they want to see from you, which types of how-to videos they want to see from you. And then finally, guys, listen to the audience in the marketplace. There's content absolutely everywhere. And the more you just listen and get in the habit of recording, right, then you're going to always have content to produce. All right. So, guys, I hope this episode and these tidbits were helpful for you. If so, guys, go ahead, smash the subscribe button if you guys are listening on iTunes so to never miss an episode. If you guys are on YouTube, or if you guys want to get more show notes and stuff like that, you can check us out on YouTube as well. And if you guys want freebies and more free training, as well as we have all different types of video training and so forth, head on over to thesecretsofcoaching.com. That's thesecretsofcoaching.com, guys. We have a ton of free training for you guys and so forth. So be sure to head on over there and check us out. Guys, this has been Dino Gomez. I hope this episode and this is super helpful for you. Go out there, take massive action, guys. Start recording your content marketing ideas and start producing content consistently. It is one of the key drivers to consistently having an endless stream of prospects come to you and into your coaching business. All right, so that's it for this episode, guys. We will see you in the next one.